Welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. Well, it's evening, Sunday. I'll be posting this video here in a little bit. And I just wanted to do a garden tour with you guys, talk a little bit about what's been going on here at our home in my backyard garden, and show you my gooseberries and what I did last week. Now, I think I might have shared some things with my friends on Facebook, but I only do on Facebook. I only post things to my friends on Facebook. I don't really have like a public like place really that I share a lot of my stuff, because I tend to share some things that are a little bit more personal with my friends. But anyways, so I wanted to kind of just do a little bit of walkthrough. I got a lot done in my yard this last week. I am still recovering. I've had a cold for the past 5 weeks exactly. And this past week, I actually took time while the weather was super, super nice. And we had some really wonderful warm days, which is kind of different. And so I took that opportunity to finish getting my yard cleaned up, to getting my garden shed all cleaned up, and I got all of the important things put into the garden shed. Now, the big black tough box that's next to the garden shed, that actually is where I keep my extra soil, and my son uses his little tractors and stuff in it and plays in the dirt. So anyways, let's go ahead and do a little walkthrough. I even managed to clean up the patio area, which is really, really awesome. So I'll kind of show you that. This is an art easel that I made. My husband and I did this one day. We just took one day and we said, who can build the best art easel from scratch? And this one was mine. And this one right here is my husband's. It's put together with twine, and it's a little bit crooked, but hey, I bet you it would do the job. But it's kind of hard. Where you put the canvas, will be on ropes. So there's that. So pardon me, I'm still sick, or I'm still getting over being sick, and I've managed to I still have that residual cough. So anyway, so I organized my fabric tote box that I have right here, and I cleaned up all of this section. Looks really good. And then my neighbor rescued my dog today. Thank you so much. I'm making a video. My dog pushed our gate open and she rescued my dog. So anyways, so my herbs are looking really, really good. And I cut them all down and back. I don't care if they come back or whatnot. I have a bunch of baby little plants that have started from seed in the containers, so I'm okay if they die, because I'll have the new plants for next year. My apple trees are looking really good. They're still green. The leaves haven't fallen off. They will be falling off, so if they fall off, I'm not going to worry that they're dead, but I bet you anything they're going to be just fine. So come spring, you guys, I'll do another video, update y'all, see if I managed to kill my plants at all. So we'll just have to wait and see. My pink blueberry is looking pretty red, very bright red leaves. My other blueberries turn in a little bit different colors too on the leaves, but that blueberry doesn't generally lose its leaves, which is pretty kind of cool. But I can take them off and then it'll grow new leaves again in the spring. So whether or not it loses them doesn't matter. All the leaves are falling off of the elderberry, and the apricots are looking pretty sad, but they're doing good. I didn't kill them, you guys. I pruned them at the wrong time of the year. Again, another prime example of me following rule, or not following the rules, I guess I should say. It's still alive. All right, well, that was fun. So I get to splice another video together. My phone decided to just shut off on me. So anyways, Columnar apple, doing great. I can see how the weather is affecting all the leaves. So that will be probably losing the leaves in November, most likely. So it's coming along. All my herbs are doing good down in the bottom, and the flowers. I didn't get any flowers on those though. this season. So maybe they'll grow next season. Who knows? We'll see what makes it. Another apricot. Now this apricot looks totally awesome. It's got these really pretty bright red leaves. You can actually really see the structure of the branches. I did prune it to an open goblet shape, which looks totally awesome in my opinion. I'm totally in love with that style of pruning, so that you can actually reach the fruit and pick it easier. It opens everything up so that when it starts setting fruit, you can have ample sunlight and airflow within your tree. A lot of the times you have the central leader growing up through the middle, and your tree will get really tall. But since I'm such a short little person, I want to keep my trees, and I always call it midget height. I apologize if I offend anybody, but I'm pretty darn short. I'm like really close to being considered a midget. But so don't take offense, okay? Just saying. Anyways, I want to keep my trees on the shorter side. And from all the research I have done, I have found that you can do this with almost any tree. Think about it this way, you guys. If people can create bonsai trees and have bonsai-sized redwoods and any other kind of tree you can even imagine, and it be a bonsai size, and those are like on the smaller side of trees, you guys, then know that you can do that with all of your trees. Like, you can keep your trees small. So just, I don't know, I guess I'm advising you guys to break the rules, but just do what works for you. But you can dictate to your tree how you want it to be to a certain degree, okay? So don't let it intimidate you. The only way that you're going to learn is if you just get out there and do it. And like I say in a lot of my videos, these videos are, I say that they're primarily for me to reflect back on, to see how far things have come. But I only say that because we're a military family and we've done so much moving that I've planted things and I've never gotten to see the fruit of it. I've left so many bulbs in the ground and everything over the years that I've not been able to watch years and years of succession of the plant dividing and creating more plants and what have you. And so as much as it is for me to share what I'm doing, it's also something really cool for me to look back on as well. And so these videos are for me, but they're also for everybody else. You guys, if I can do this, so can you. And so it's all about just getting in there and planting the seeds and getting your hands in the dirt and getting dirty and all of that. Because if you don't try, then you're never going to know. I didn't have a green thumb when I started planting things. I kill every plant most of the time in my house. Last year was the last 2 years, I guess I should say, are the only times that I've actually had plants that survive, and I have the worst possible sunlight in my house here. And I have managed to keep plants alive indoors. And so that's why I'm saying, you guys, just keep trying. Don't give up just because you think you have a black thumb, so they say. And just keep trying. If at all, get things that you can just put in the ground and water occasionally, possibly. And or if you don't have to even water, look for things that are drought tolerant or things that grow really easy in your region that you don't have to water. So it's all about doing a little bit of a legwork and figuring out what works for your growing zone. But anyway, so I'll continue on here. I'm just kind of walking by my plants. These are doing amazing. These things are called Russian olives. When these start putting off fruit, I'm going to have to put it on a patio because I don't want the seeds going onto the ground, because this is considered a noxious plant. And I think in some states like Colorado and such, you're not even allowed to sell this tree because it spreads so easy, and they create big thickets and they have thorns, and the birds love the berries though. So if you're wanting to have a type of fruit in your on your property or something like that, and you plant it off away from everything and just to keep the birds away from your other trees, it's a good idea to plant something, maybe not necessarily this, but a tree that you don't necessarily care too much about, but you'll give some food to the birds to keep them away from your other stuff. So yeah. So here's my other columnar. It's doing really good, and I think I'm gonna end up giving my Himalayan pine trees to a couple at my church. The one guy's really into trees, and so I have these Himalayan pine trees, and I actually haven't looked up yet. Pardon me. I haven't looked up yet whether or not they create any edible seeds or anything like that. I have a feeling they don't. I think they're just more of a novelty tree, and they're not necessarily my most favorite, but I figure, you know what, I could pass them on to somebody who's really into trees and all of that. And this kind of tree, or these types of trees, and so that way I can free up my pots, and I was thinking about doing that. And so yeah, so coming along, my cherry trees are in this container now, and they're doing really good. I am going to wait for a little bit more growth on these two smaller ones next year. They're the two in the front right here, and then that's my my other one. I think it's a Bing or a Lapins that I grew from seed. The other two came from my yard, because the cherry trees that are back up in here that are a really pretty color, they actually have roots coming into our yard. So that lets me know that those were actually seeds that somebody tossed over the fence, and the main tree started from seed, because when things start from seed, they generally send out runners, roots, and then you'll have trees popping up all over the place within a certain diameter of the tree. And so yeah, here's my Mountain Beauty Ivan's Beauty Mountain Ash. It's lost almost all of its leaves. It's nothing but twigs now almost. And all the leaves are over here because I had to move my plants. I wanted them to be in the sun a little bit more. And because the sun has moved in the sky, the position, I was getting more shade in my yard. So I actually moved my pots back about 2 to 3 feet in the yard. My roses of Sharon are losing all of their leaves too. I'm going to leave them outdoors this year. I overwintered them last year. That's a prime example of some of my plants that didn't die indoors. Hallelujah. Over here, I'm leaving the pineapple sage, you guys, like this year. Last year, I cut it all the way down to the ground, and I put soil over the top. It all came back from the roots this past spring. I expect it'll do it again this next year, and so I'm really super excited about that. That whole pot's making up this whole thing. However, I am planning on separating it and weeding it out, maybe sharing some of the plants with some of my my friends and that sort of thing. And the kids in the neighborhood, they're having fun. And so and I'm planning to put a apple tree in here. I'm not sure if I've shared it with you guys. I'm planning to get at least 3 apple trees from Rain Tree. I'm wanting to get the Cosmic Crisp, the Apple Crisp, and the Wine Crisp, and possibly a Pink Pearl. I might get more or less of those, but I'm definitely thinking on those, and I will be growing them in containers in my yard for now. And I don't expect that they'll ever get really super tall because of having them in containers for so long. It's really, really key that when you plant trees, generally speaking, is that you plant them and you put them in the ground where they're going to remain forever. And moving them around a lot is not good for the plants. I've done that a lot with my apple trees. I suspect I have done a lot of damage to the apple trees that I have grown from seed, and I have damaged at least one of their taproots really badly. But the plant is still alive, and so I don't ever suspect that it'll ever become a very big tree, that it'll probably be on the more weaker side, and I'm okay with that. And so we'll just have to wait and see what we get from it. So coming down here, I've got my Japanese maple tree. It's looking pretty darn awesome. And I've got my European cherry plum, which I'm actually going to be putting into this terracotta color pot. The black pot will have an apple tree in it. I think I might just get a couple. I might just get the Cosmic Crisp and the definitely the Apple Crisp and the Pink Pearl for sure. I might not get the Cosmic Crisp, and I might not get the Wine Crisp, but we'll just have to wait and see. I really want to have a pink fleshed apple so I can make pink applesauce. Not that I'm really into pink a lot, but you know. So down here, I've got a pot ready to have a tree put into the center. I've actually got a 2-liter bottle that's cut in half that has some soil in it. That's actually taking up the spot where I will be planting a tree. And then coming down here, I will show you down here. My crandall currant right here is looking pretty darn good. It's losing all of its leaves. Almost all of them are gone now. And, oops, sorry. I'm not sure about the structure of this tree so much, or this bush, I guess I should say, so much. But yeah, it's working. But I wanted to show you this, you guys. This is my purple broccoli. And it actually looks brighter and cooler looking with my camera phone. And yeah, I am pretty stoked about it. I had tried growing this when I was in Germany, and I didn't get any broccoli off of it. Never got any. And so I'm really, really happy and excited that I'm actually getting some purple broccoli this year from it. And all of these are purple broccoli right here. And some of them are starting, the other ones are starting to maybe try to give me some fruit. If I come down here to this one on the end right here, you can see down in there where it's going to start trying to make some, but that other one on the end is much further along than the other ones. And so once I moved all of the corn that I had up over along here and it was getting more sunlight, then all of a sudden everything starts coming to life here. So this one is really, the stalk is really, really purple. And so it's actually got some stuff going on there too, which is really cool. And then last week when I was doing all of my yard work, I managed to plant in some elderberries and some gooseberries all the way along. So every other one is a gooseberry, elderberry, gooseberry. Okay, so down here, let's see. So you can kind of see, pardon me, where that white tag right here, I've got a gooseberry planted. Then I have an elderberry right here. And then in this little pile of grass clippings, I have another gooseberry right there. There we go. And it's kind of hard for you guys to see them because they're on the smaller side, but they also don't have their leaves. Some of the elderberries still have some leaves on them, but then I've got an elderberry right here. Coming down a little bit further, I got another gooseberry. And then another elderberry. This one has some of the leaves on it. I planted the thundercloud variety, so I have green with the really pretty autumn colors, which is really cool. And then I've got another gooseberry. And I got a lot of parsley. And then another elderberry. And then a puppy dog. Hello, puppy dog. Hello. Hello. And then I've got garlic in here. And I've got some cilantro. And this was my lettuce that went to seed. And then some more garlic. And then some more garlic. And I still have, like, you know, the gooseberries in between. And the elderberry. And then the elderberry. And then the gooseberry. So I've got a total of 6 gooseberries. 2 of them are of a different variety. And then all of the elderberries are a thundercloud. So they'll have the really pretty pink flowers. And then right here, I have actually planted in some hydrangeas off of my hydrangea plant. I've got 4 separated. So I've got one here, and then I have one right on the other side of this black pot. Oh, and one right there, and right there. And then I got my sage trimmed up kind of like a bonsai. I love it. It looks so cool. And then I did the same thing with one of my rosemaries. This is the tomato that's on it's going to die when the frost gets here. They're still trying to make fruit. This is my rosemary here. And then this is the one I trimmed up kind of like a bonsai. So it looks really, really cool. I like that. And then I've got one more little row right here of stuff. I've got strawberries. Now I was wanting to sell the strawberries, but now that I heard that there might be a community garden at our church, which will be totally awesome. And I might just bring these and plant these there and let them be a blessing to people. And I got a bunch of sage and stuff. I saw so many cuttings and things that I've created with the rosemary and the sage and all of that. And I really want to bless people. And so, yeah, why not, right? And then I've got all my gooseberries here. And you can tell the difference between the two different varieties. These ones that still have their greener leaves. This is the variety that made those giant gooseberries. And the leaves are still very, very green on them. And then if you look at my other ones, these are the ones that are the dessert gooseberries. And the leaves on these ones are almost completely spent for the year. They're going to be falling off the plants here very, very shortly. And you can just definitely tell the difference between the two. Like, I want to call these colossal, but I know that there's a variety here in the States that is called colossal. Now, the seeds from these came from some giant gooseberries that I got at a grocery store while I lived in Germany. And I saved some of the seeds on a paper towel, and I grew these once I got back here to the States. Now, I know from the research that I've done that this variety most likely came from, I'm wanting to say, the Caucasus region of, I'm not exactly sure what part, but over there by Eurasia, area. So, yeah, which is kind of cool. And then this one here is my Burgundy Sweet. And that's what I called the variety of gooseberry that I had while I was in Germany. There was no label on my gooseberry letting me know what variety it is. And because the berries got so dark, like a really pretty burgundy color, I went ahead and called mine Burgundy Sweet. And so that's what I called the babies anyways, that I grew from seed from it. And then I've got 4 of those. 2 of the other one, and then 4 of the other ones. And then these 2 that are in the smaller pots right here and right here, I may take those and plant those at the church. And or I think one of them's for a Facebook friend. And then I have a bunch of cuttings in my my greenhouse, so I look forward to that. So anyways, you guys, this is just kind of a walkthrough. I'll be combining this video with my other video and wrap this all up here. The dog is jealous that I'm not talking to him. Hello? Hello? What are you doing? What are you doing? Anyways, you guys, thank you so much. Comment, like, and subscribe, and click that bell button. And as always, have a wonderful day, and God bless. Bye.